G'day guys, my name's Adam and it's that time of year again when Game Freak and the Pokemon Company put out a brand new Pokemon release, and this time round we have Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Now these are pretty cool new additions to the entire Pokemon range because they represent a brand new generation for the 3D engine, and there's new Pokemon. There's quite a lot to see here. I always buy both versions of the game. It's not so much because I want to play both and collect every single Pokemon from each version of the game. It's because I love collecting the entire series of Pokemon games. You can probably see in the corner over here I have all the DS onward Pokemon games, and I also have all the Game Boy Advance back to the original Game Boy games. So for me it's more about collection. And in this particular case I'm going to be playing Pokemon Sun first, and for anyone interested I have picked Litten as my starter Pokemon. I was originally going to go with the Owl, but after seeing the final evolution I ended up jumping over and choosing Litten. And I've just been playing it for about 20-30 minutes now, and I mean the start of this game is quite slow. There's a lot of cutscenes and there's a lot of text and dialogue, but I've really just started to get into the main part of the game now. Started capturing a few Pokemon, and I was actually quite happy with what I've gotten so far. I managed to catch Pikachu as my fourth Pokemon, which is really cool to start off with the Pikachu. Pikachu is obviously, it was my first ever Pokemon, and so I'm pretty thrilled to be able to get this one, a Pikachu, so soon in these new games. They've also got this Z ring here, which I must admit, I don't even know what this is for. I just saw that it's obviously an accessory which somehow forms part of the Z move battle component of the new game. And it's really unlikely that I will actually use this, but being a game fan, I had to get all the accessories that came with the game because it's just, I guess, what you do as a collector. At my local store, it wasn't exactly flying off the shelves, but I think that might be because the use of this hasn't really been widely advertised. So I imagine this will get more popular as time goes on. Maybe it'll turn out to be a hit. We'll wait and see. So I'm not really doing an unboxing or anything special for these two games, but what I wanted to show you was what my current 3DS setup is in anticipation of getting these games. So since I last talked to you guys, as you've probably seen on my channel, I've had a range of different 3DSs, 3DS XLs, and 2DSs. And over the last year or two, I've basically sold off a lot of my collection and I've reduced it down to two primary units, which is my main driver here, which is my Majora's Mask new 3DS XL. And I've also got my original 3DS, which I bought a couple of years ago, and I've decided to keep this one for sentimental sake. But what I actually did was I sold off my smaller new 3DS. I had this whole video where I compared the 3DS XL to the new 3DS, and basically for me it came down to this was, I just loved the bigger screen and the real estate and the battery life. In the end, the new 3DS XL really trumped it for me. And in preparation for these two brand new Pokemon games, I bought a few accessories for my 3DS XL, which I wanted to show you guys. And the first one I wanted to show you is this thing, which is, it's actually a 3DS case or cover. Now I've already unboxed it, but I just want to show you the boxing it came in. Nothing particularly special here. I bought this from amyamy.com, which is a Japanese website. I buy a lot of Japanese import stuff specifically from that website. But what I really liked about this particular case from the description is that, well, it's got the Pikachu and Pokemon symbol design, which for me is an automatic winner. And it allows me to, I guess, mix up this Majora's Mask look without having to purchase an entirely new console. But the other thing was, it said that this was a rubberized texture. And one thing, I've had clear plastic cases on my DSi XLs and DSs in the past, and they have really scratched up the console over time. So when I saw that this is a rubberized texture, I thought, all right, this sounds interesting, let's give it a go. Now straight off the bat, I actually do like it, but there is one thing to note, is that inside the actual case, it is hard plastic, which is what I was trying to avoid. But it's actually not, it doesn't have the same scratchiness or rough texture that the clear cases seem to have. But the biggest bonus for me is actually that the outside of this case is a really nice matte rubberized texture. It feels a little bit like a silicone case, and that is fantastic because one of my biggest bugbears with the new 3DS XL is that it's this ultra glossy console, which I find it doesn't feel very nice in the hand. Now, what's really intriguing is as soon as you put this on, and it's just a simple matter of clicking it on, just do that now, and the bottom, it basically looks and feels like a completely different console. The actual ports and cutouts are very well done. I've been very impressed with the quality of this case. And just like if it was a real console, you can see you fold it out and you have that Pikachu look there. But the main thing for me is that suddenly this console, it has this nice matte and rubberized texture. So holding it feels really nice, especially when playing for longer term use. Now, speaking of longer term use, the other thing I picked up recently, actually I picked this up several months ago on the recommendation of someone from the Whirlpool forums. And that is this thing here, which is it's basically a grip for the new 3DS XL. And I did a bit of reading on grips and things like that, because I find that when holding the console like this, even after 20 minutes, half an hour's use, I start getting cramped in my hands. So I picked this grip up here based on quite a bit of feedback and positive feedback, and this is the actual grip itself. And I must admit, I absolutely love this grip. It's by the brand Cyber Gadget, and the biggest thing I love about this grip is that it does its function incredibly well. It fits perfectly in the hand. It does have a few extra bells and whistles, so you can fold this out and have a little bit of cartridge storage here. But for me, I mean, the main thing with this grip is it lives on my 3DS when my 3DS is at home, which these days is the majority of the time. I very rarely take my 3DS out with me. And putting this on is really simple once again. So if I just pop this off, this pops in at the front, it just clips in and then pushes down at the back. And now I have a very nice way to play extended games like Pokemon without getting any of that cramping in your hands. And it just feels very nice to play. And this whole entire setup for me now, it's basically transformed my new 3DS XL. It's basically upped it a notch for me. It's a much nicer system and console to play now, especially for games like Pokemon. Anyway guys, I really hope you guys are also picking these games up and giving them a go. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on these games, and also your thoughts and opinions on the Z accessory. And if you have any questions about the accessories I'm using on my 3DS XL, certainly let me know in the comments and I'll try to reply straight away. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.